Hi, AP Bio parents of Castleview. My name is Kyle Erlenbeck. If I'm sending you this video, that means I have one of your children, at least, enrolled in AP Biology with me for the next 3 terms. I wanted to send a quick video to you outlining some of the general details of the course and some things that we should be looking for. Even though you already probably got a copy of the syllabus from me from your students and have a signed copy returned to me. I just wanted to go through some things that you can look for and make sure that we're setting up your students for success. The first thing is obviously this is a very tough course. The most important thing to me is that your students learn something obviously as they go through the course, but also that they have a little bit of fun. And this doesn't become some sort of miserable experience, because AP classes certainly have that reputation for being a lot of work, of which they are. But I think if we do it right, by the time we get to the end of the year, it should be fun, and hopefully it encourages them to take some other AP courses at their time here at Castleview, if they have time to do that. This is the first thing that I wanted to mention. This is the scores from the 2016 AP Biology exam. What you should target here and what you should pay attention to is that a 3 or above, a 3 or 4 or 5 is going to earn students credit at most universities or colleges. Even though there seems to be a shift towards some schools not even accepting scores or it having to be a 4 or 5 in order for them to waive their freshman biology fees, or their freshman biology courses. Notice it is the hardest exam at 6.3% to earn a 5 on out of any AP science course. That includes AP chemistry, AP physics. AP biology is the hardest to score a 5 on. It's a very difficult exam. It's a very difficult course. We move incredibly fast. That's the first thing to know, is that it is the hardest to score a 5 on in the entire nation. So what can we do to set your student up for success? From my experience of teaching the course, these bullet points really list what makes a successful AP biology student. If they're doing all of these things, they're going to do just fine in the class. Number one, and most importantly, is they're curious and they ask a lot of questions. We have advisement time. As you have juniors or seniors, I think I have one sophomore this year. You hopefully you're used to the idea of what we use advisement for. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is travel advisement. I would love to see your students as an extension of AP Biology every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I think they should show up every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and be asking me questions. If they're generally curious, they're going to be a great scientist regardless of what class they take. Curiosity is the most important thing to me, and then asking questions obviously comes as a byproduct of being curious. They're rarely absent, and they're on time, and they're focused, and they're mentally present. I think the thing that prevents our students from being the most successful when it comes to this second bullet point is not getting enough sleep. I know a lot of them are pressured with a job, and they're really concerned about that, or they're taking multiple AP courses. AP Biology never slows down. It's a very difficult course, and one of those very important things is that they get enough sleep. So being mindful of that is really important to their success. Students also view themselves as active participants in class. That goes along with asking questions. It also goes along with group work, all sorts of things, that they're active and they're not just waiting for information to be disseminated from me to them. They're active in obtaining that information. They turn in work on or before due dates. I have a policy where if they ask me for an extension, I'm probably going to grant it to them. But once that's asked 2 or 3 times, or it becomes a repeated pattern that they're not getting their work done, then we need to have a different type of conversation to figure out what's going on. So getting work in is important. I am flexible. I realize that life happens, but they need to let me know before a certain due date that they need an extension on it, and if there's a good reason, obviously. They accept and act upon any criticism and feedback that I give them. Sometimes what I find is when you go after an AP level student, they've been used to people have been telling them, teachers have been telling them that everything they've done has been pretty darn good up to this point, and it probably has been, but the bar's raised up in an AP level class. And that's something that they should expect, is that they're going to get some criticism and some feedback from the teachers, and then use that. Don't shy away from that, but use that in order to get better. That's something I've seen in my students that perform well. They recognize they're taking a college level course, and they don't complain about the amount of work or the nature of the work or the pace of the course. They adjust to it and they learn how to get through it. They take personal pride in everything that they turn in. It's their best work. They recognize that at this point, I can provide them with opportunities to learn, but I can't hold their hands for them and drag them along and say, this is how you're successful in this class. These are some points that I'm laying out for them. But I certainly can't say that I'm going to double check to make sure you had your homework done or that you turn this lab in on time. That's up to them. They're going to take out of this experience what they make of it. They understand that in the larger world, they're going to work with people on a very frequent basis. More often times, you're working in teams and with people than you are on your own, whether you like those people or not. As you all know, as you enter a career, sometimes you just got to work with folks and get stuff knocked out, and that's the way it is. And it's the same in an AP biology class. They're going to have different partners throughout the year, some great, some not so great. I'll do my best at supporting them in those situations, but just being mindful of everybody's a little bit different, and sometimes you're in a frustrating group, and knowing that you have to work with people. And the last one is have fun, and they enjoy a challenge. If they enjoy being challenged and they enjoy being pushed, they're going to do just fine in the course. What does an average day look like in AP Biology? Usually we start with some sort of quick discussion, maybe a short lecture, 20 minutes or less on content they've encountered. Because it's so important to me that students are up and active and thinking and asking questions and in lab and actually doing the process of science, which research has shown is the best way of learning science. In order to have that much time in order to do that, I have my students confront the material before they come to class. This is usually in the form of an interact and question assignment, which I'm prepared to show you here in a minute or so of what those look like. They are designed to have students confront material first, try to learn it on their own, and then come loaded with questions so we can talk about what they didn't understand in those first 20 minutes. If students don't have questions, it's really hard for me to tell what they're succeeding with and what they're not succeeding with until we get to an assessment, which is really high stakes in this class. So we try to infuse the course with as much inquiry, lab work, and active science as possible because that is the best way to go through science, understand the process of science, and also retain some of the stuff that we're teaching them. I'm going to send you 3 links included in this email. Number 1 is the course website. If you want to go there and you want to see what's going on at any single point in the class, you can see we have the class all listed out and ready to go. Everything that they're going to be learning is listed out on the syllabus, but also on the website. I also have a calendar there that you can check out every day if you want to know what we're up to. I'm also going to send you a link to some very interesting responses when I asked my 2 classes, my 2 sections of AP Bio, why did you take AP Biology? Their directives were to use one image that represented why they were taking AP Biology, maybe something that you'd be interested in looking at. And then a quick note, a quick letter on the blended classroom. The blended classroom is really trying to take this experience of students confronting knowledge and content on their own through computer or online, through videos, through prezis that I give them. I'll show you an example here of what one of those looks like in a second. And then using time in class to figure things out while they have access to me. I figure that's a better use of time so they can actually do some science. So let me show you a quick link here. This is what the website looks like. This obviously is the page that we are focused around. We are starting in this first domain called the modern synthesis, which attempts to connect together evolution, molecular genetics, and heredity all together. So we are currently right here. They have a test coming up this Friday on evolution. Something they always get from me to start every unit is they get this, which is called a content and skills guide. It has all the standards that we're going to learn during that particular unit that is sent down from the College Board saying these are the things that students need to understand. I always put the test date down here. These are those interacting question assignments and when we are going to discuss them. These are the target due dates for them. And these are must-know statements. So ideas, big ideas that they must know heading into the test. I won't ever ask them anything outside of that sequence that you see there. What I did want to show you is right here, these interacting question assignments. This is the material that I'm asking them to confront before they come to class so we can have a discussion over it. What I embed inside of these are a few things. Number 1, the textbook reading. I've gotten feedback from my former students that they've said the textbook has actually been very, very helpful to them. So that's the first thing that I put here. Students should interact with that, read it, take notes, annotate, and really go through and interact with the textbook first. Then as a measure of support, what I always have are topic presentations for every single one of these IQs. They come in the form of prezis. They're actually made by a teacher in New York named David Kanufke. He does an amazing job of setting these up. I try to adapt them to whatever we're learning, but sometimes I literally just take them straight how he made them. He did a fantastic job of putting these things together, so we use them in our class. This one's taking a little while to load, and I don't want to take your entire night watching a video, but these are what the Prezzies look like. You can hop to the website and take a look at these if you want to see them. And then I also include YouTube videos for my really visual learners that are down here that cover certain ideas. So Crash Course Biology and Bozeman videos as well. So if we skip this ad here in a second, you can see Hank Green will go through a 12-minute video just introducing evolution. So I always include any of those that are appropriate for a specific topic. Then some questions to answer. They should attempt these before they come to class, things they should make sure they understand out of the IQ and the reading. And then after they've done all this, I'll ask always any questions from you guys. And if there's stuff that we need to cover, then I'll run through everything with them, just like a regular lecture. But it saves us so much time doing it this way. So in case any of your students are struggling with this model of a blended classroom, I'm going to send you a letter and give you some tips and some suggestions for how to transition them faster into a blended environment and how they can succeed there. That's all I wanted to cover with you guys. This video went a lot longer than I was expecting. I apologize. I will try to give you updates as frequently as possible as to what we're doing in class and how your student is doing. If you ever have questions for me, please feel free to email me at kyle.erlenbeck@dcsdk12.org. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to a continued conversation with all of you. Thank you.